Welcome back to the Giant Hot Takes podcast, your home for the hottest takes about the San Francisco Giants. I'm your host, Jack, joined by my co-host, Jake. We got another positive episode. Spring training brings a lot of promise. Before we get going, go over to X and follow us at GiantHot_takes. Up to 850 followers, 150 away from 1,000 subscribers. At 1,000 subscribers, we will be having a giveaway for Giants team store credits. You can get a hat, a shirt, whatever you want. But more importantly, we need you to smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Last podcast was our best podcast in terms of view-wise. Got up above 200 for the first time, gained 15 subscribers, up to 62 or 63 as we stand. So we'd love to get to 100 before the season starts. So please, if you got this link from Twitter, log into YouTube, watch there. Please subscribe there. We'd love to get to 100 subs, be a big milestone for us. In general, we're getting going right now. We'll be dropping every Wednesday. Jake, how are we feeling about the promise of the new season?
I'm feeling pretty good. How are you feeling?
Dude, pretty fantastic. I was just talking for a while. I mean, it's 70 degrees in San Diego right now. We got guys hitting bombs. Pitchers kind of look like shit. But, I mean, it's feeling good. Before we get into any, new topics, what was kind of, your favorite live AB of the week that you saw over on Twitter?
It's got to be Ramos, man. Ramos. Moonshots. You got to love moonshots, man. I mean, there's nothing better. It's first time getting out there at the beginning. He's gonna have a full season. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see him. So if you guys haven't really been following over on Twitter, I know there's some people don't follow that much on Twitter, don't keep up with the practices, but it's been kind of live ABs all week, open to the media. So we've been getting some Alex Pavlovich bombs, some Susan Slusser ones. And so to start it off yesterday, we get some Willy Adames ABs, first time seeing him. This is Monday, I believe. Goes yard off Sean Jelly, absolute moonshot to left, looks fantastic. First AB as a Giant, second pitch ever. And then we go into yesterday, and we got the Willy Adames-Logan Webb matchup. Adames takes him yard back-to-back ABs. He's 3 for 4 with 3 bombs. His out was to Birdsong. I mean, what has it already been like watching Willy Adames in that Giants uniform hitting home runs, Jake?
I mean, it's like they're playing in a space station with the elevation feels of just how many balls are flying out for this team right now. Our pitchers have never been known to be very great spring training pitchers, especially Logan Webb. He has struggled in spring training pretty much every single season. But he cleans it up when it's the real time. So does it worry me? No. I hope it doesn't worry me if this keeps happening like an absurd amount. But, hitters hit, and when you hit 3 bombs and 4 at-bats, it just really opens your eyes. So I'm really excited about him.
No, yeah, he's unreal. You just see the way he hits it, and, he kind of has some ownership stake over Webb. I saw a good Webb tweet after that. I think Adames has 5 for 10 with 3 or 4 home runs off Webb. It's quite absurd. Webb kind of played into the joke, posted a picture. I was like, I'm really thankful I called that guy and got us on the team. So hopefully Webb can lock it in, but not going to complain about home runs. There's another cool...
Especially when we struggle with them all the time, too. Can't
100%.
Get a guy over 30.
I'm so down to just have some pitchers, non-pitchers duels, and just have some slugfests. If Adames is going to take us to the promised land, then hit fucking 40 home runs, dude. Giants TikTok posted on Twitter... Justin Verlander and Hayden Birdsong kind of hanging out a lot. Kind of like Verlander's almost a coach that can still play. He's right there for all of Birdsong's bullpens. What do you think that can mean for a young guy like Birdsong with all the potential in the world that some people have said is a young Justin Verlander, just having him in your ear during every bullpen?
Yeah, I mean, Verlander, the signing wasn't just because he's going to go out there on game day and do his job. Off the field and at practice, he's going to make a bigger impact than most pitching coaches will. This guy has so much experience. He's done so much in this league. There's not really going to be a better guy to mentor you at that age like Hayden Birdsong has been getting. I think it's the perfect mentor. They've got somewhat similar kind of play style with the heavy heater, the curveball. Hopefully can really teach him a lot of the stuff he's learned along the way, and hopefully Hayden can develop that early on because I think that he could be a dangerous weapon.
Oh, yeah, 100%. His ceiling is probably like a Justin Verlander type. Quite the ceiling. Don't want to put those expectations on him. But he has all the tools. Birdsong's a stud. Got Adames out. Broke a Jung-Hoo Lee bat in the live ABs that I saw. Already looking pretty good. We'll talk about where the rotation stands after this. But Birdsong will pitch some big-time innings for the Giants this year. All the potential in the world. Another guy, really young guy, Bryce Eldridge. You'll hear us talk about him. I saw Off topic, but Fangraphs has him up to number 6 prospects in the league. Number 1, they said that he's the highest graded first baseman they've seen in a long time since Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Before we get into what Eldridge has said and done early on, I mean, how nice is it to finally have a top 10 prospect according to some websites?
I feel like he's got to be the number 1 guy, man. I mean, this dude could be like the face of the league. I don't want to say anything crazy, but this guy is special. He's not even 21 years old yet, and he's making this much of an impact in our farm system. He's coming up for spring training for the first time. He's looked pretty good. I mean, this is just such a big, big moment for a lot of Giants fans because, I mean, we haven't really experienced any real homegrown power since Buster Posey, and it's been a long time.
Yeah, and even Posey didn't have that power. But it's definitely a player like that. He was talked to KNBR or somebody, and he kind of just said, like, quote, like, just like they're asking him because the lights are obviously pretty bright in his first spring training, and he was just simply like, in the least cocky way possible, I feel like I'm the best. He kind of you get that vibe from him if you hear him talk. Had some ABs. Think his first AB, lefty, kind of got the best of him. Second AB, he pulled a fastball through the 3-4 hole, and then third AB stayed back on a curveball, slapped it over the shortstop. So, I mean, this guy's got 40 home runs in him, but he's also hitting line drives the other way. I mean, his approach is pretty big league ready, you think, right?
It's so perfect. I mean, I saw one guy on TikTok in one of the at-bats saying that, he's kind of got that Harper approach a little bit, the young Harper, with like, the power all in the back and, staying disciplined at the plate. I'd love him to play like Harper. I think that would be awesome. I mean, he's bigger than Harper is. He's kind of heading in the direction of kind of playing like that a little bit, and I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, no, I mean, this guy, if you haven't watched any at-bats of his, go watch him right now. He's 6'7". He turns 21 in, like, late October, so he's going to play a full season at 20, should start off in AAA, should debut, I think, around September. But, I mean, he's going to be up here soon. He's going to play in the MLB at 20 years old, so get your hopes up. I mean, we're going home for the debut. I mean, I'm just getting excited thinking about that, Jake.
It's crazy. I mean, we've had no homegrown talent since it's been a while for a big bat for us, man. It's just great.
It's absurd. Other notes from live ABs, Lamont Wade Jr.'s got a new swing. Think he's a little wider. I actually haven't seen video of it. I've just seen some guys in our Giants group chat talking about it. Supposedly supposed to keep him healthy. He's also working out in the outfield, but first AB back goes yard. I mean, that's just kind of baseball for you. He's probably thinking he's going to hit 400. I mean, what's kind of your expectations for Wade going into this year? If he can bring some juice, that would be awesome.
I mean, he'll have the hottest of hot starts. He always does. He's going to get on base a lot. He'll tone down later in the year if it's for an injury or whatnot. But I hope he brings that big 2021 power back. Late night Lamont. I really do hope he could maybe sneak 20 out of. I mean, as a first baseman, you should hope 20 shouldn't be that big of a deal. But Wade gets on base, so I mean, he's just got to play his role, and as long as he stays healthy, I think he's going to be just fine this year. Yeah,
no, I agree. It's all you kind of need. He's just a placeholder for Eldridge, so Wade can stay healthy. I mean, wouldn't mind him DHing a little bit just to keep him healthy. A lot of swing adjustments we've kind of had with Matos and Wade and some other guys. Luciano, just quicker to the ball, kind of more of a line drive approach. You think that's got anything to do with the Dodgers by Farhan kind of leaving? And like Posey coming in, I mean, Posey knows how to hit. Career 300 hitter, first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, that's got to mean something having a guy who's played at the top of your organization versus some analytics guy who doesn't know how to hit.
Yeah,
right?
Posey is one of the most impactful players of our generation. I mean, the dude won 3 World Series. I mean, won a Rookie of the Year, won an MVP. This guy just gets the energy so much better around everybody else. I mean, we've seen what this team can do. I mean, we took Posey and friends to a 107-win season just a couple of years ago. I mean, there's something about him that's just so much different. His presence compared to Farhan, who is just a Dodgers spy, and he doesn't bring any light to the locker room or any of that. So I think I'm sure he's in on this. I'm sure he's not just playing the front office card. He's definitely in on all the action. I know he's definitely doing a ton of great things at practice and all these other stuff. I mean, he's just what we want to see right now. Buster Posey's the perfect fit for our team.
No, yeah, he's just a baseball guy. No, before practice got started this week, it was kind of their first meeting as a team. Posey gave a speech, and kind of, I'm sure a lot of GMs give speeches, but Posey's a little different. Even Melvin was like, yeah, it pretty much covered everything I did, so Melvin had to like write a whole new speech impromptu because Posey's just the man. Other live AB notes, Ramos hits an absolute tank off Verlander today. If you haven't seen it, go to our Twitter. He hit it off the scoreboard. Verlander screamed an F-bomb right as he left it. Ramos will make him pay. I mean, that fired me up. I was in the gym. I mean, I might have PR'd a squat today after seeing that. You don't know. But Ramos, I mean, I don't really understand why people think he's in for this big regression. He was still an all-star last year. You think Ramos can repeat a season like that?
Yeah, I mean, the power's still there. I mean, as long as he works that discipline a little bit, he does generate a lot of swing and misses on some of the lower stuff. But, I mean, the power's still there. The swing, the launch angle, all that's still there. I mean, if you leave one in the zone, I mean, it's going to happen, and he's going to hit it a long way. He can hit the ball the other way. I mean, it's just he's a great hitter. I don't think he's going to regress.
No, yeah, he's fantastic. I seriously think he can be an all-star again if he keeps that up. I mean, he had a lot of oppo juice. If he's getting pool juice off the scoreboard, I mean, we've seen it. He could put one at Mike Val. He could put one into the Golden Glove. Mike thinks it's Luciano, which I think is a wild take. Love you, Mike. But it's going to be that Ramos guy. But in general, I mean, the vibe just on Twitter, watching these guys play, Jung-Hoo Lee back and healthy, got a leader in Adames. Like, what's your thoughts on the vibe of this team? I'm having a blast already. We haven't even played a damn game yet.
Yeah, I'm so excited to get going. I wish we could watch more games than we only have for spring training. So, yeah, I'll be box score watching if they let me even do that, because I know spring training just hates all the fans for everything. You literally have to go to the games to be able to see what's going on. But, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, just like last year, I thought it's the year, but, I mean, we only got better. So I'm really hoping this is the one.
Yeah, no, I agree. We actually have guys showing up to spring training this year. You know, Snell, obviously wasn't there. Snell doesn't show up. Chapman was a late signing. So, you know, we kind of got this team. Posey and Melvin emphasized it. Team camaraderie is already doing a lot better. Got a lot of returning guys. Kind of have a culture now. So I posted on Twitter just kind of stuff that the fans who watch this podcast wanted to see. Thank you for commenting first off. Before we get into these, love answering these questions. Keep commenting. Go over there before on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday I'll be dropping that. So if you have any questions, drop them on that post, because every podcast will be dropping around this time on Wednesday. So first one we got, pretty in-depth one. Going to be a long conversation. Excited to see what Jake thinks here. It's from @DreamFloatHI. He said, rank the young pitchers: Harrison, Birdsong, Carson Whisenhunt, Black, and Beck and Roop, and what their projection can be. They can't all be starters. So I'll start with Harrison, Jake, and then we can go through all them and rank them after, if that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got Kyle Harrison. I mean, this guy's a stud. I think he's got ace potential. Last year, Kyle goes 7-7, kind of a regress year. Velo dipped towards the end. He just isn't really used to that MLB workload. Just 23. I mean, I'm still very high on Harrison. Velo's apparently back. What's your thoughts on Kyle?
I love Kyle. I mean, Bay Area, homegrown. You know, if the Velo's back, then, I mean, anything can happen with this guy. As long as he works the zone a little bit better, I mean, cut the wild pitches a little bit. I mean, it's not easy to do, especially when you're 23 years old starting in the major leagues. But, you know, like, cut down the wild pitches. If he can do that and bring his velo back up, his stuff's there, the arm angle's there. I don't see why he can't be an ace as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then you got Birdsong. What's your thoughts on Birdsong off the rip? We already talked about him a little bit, but, I mean, he's got all the potential in the world as well.
I mean, we've seen what he's done to some teams, and we've seen some of the bad stuff he's done to others. You know, we've seen him strike out 12 guys in a game, dominate the entire roster, and we've also seen him kind of lose his stuff, lose his confidence, walk a ton of guys, all these other things. I mean, you can't expect much out of a guy that young coming up in the middle of the season anyway. I think that Harrison should have the edge over him personally. But, I mean, Birdsong, he's going to be great for us in the future. I think that we got to hang on to him for as long as can be. You know, I think he's got a bright future. We haven't seen so much from him yet, but he's given flashes.
No, yeah, he's got a really bright future. And just for reference, Birdsong kind of gets rushed through the minors last year. Forget who was like a late scratch. I think we might have pulled him up directly from Double A.
Yeah.
Yeah, he skipped Triple A. He goes 72 innings, 88 strikeouts, which is absurd. He's got that fastball, upper nines, plus curveball. Hope we can develop some more control. Heard he's working on a cutter. Working with Verlander will help with that. Walked 43, but that's kind of something I think you can teach 100%. He needs to get ramped up. I think he's probably a long shot to make the major league roster off the rip, but he's going to pitch some big time innings. Odds are Hicks or Verlander or Harrison aren't going to be able to sustain a full major league season. So his projection, I think, is probably top line ace. Sounds kind of crazy, but watch the kid pitch. It's probably not this year. Is that a fair projection, Jake, or am I kind of bullshitting?
I think at some point in the future, I think he's still got a little bit to learn, a lot of stuff to get over. If he can limit the walks and stay in the zone more, I don't see why that can't be the truth.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then Carson Whisenhunt on that Fangraphs prospect list. They love the Giants for some reason, but they got Whisenhunt at 46, former top 50 prospect by Pipeline. Carson's 24, kind of been grinding through some stuff in AAA. I saw Even Year Dynasty show, go check him out, said that his changeup's probably the best pitch in the organization, which is a pretty crazy statement, but he's backed it up. So, you think about the Walker slider, the Webb sinker, the Harrison fastball. This kid's changeup's apparently way better than that. Last year in Sacramento, very hitter-friendly league. ERA of 5.42. On the road, which is places like Reno, Salt Lake, crazy elevation, he had an 8 ERA. And at home, it was right around 3. So kind of what do you see with Whisenhunt? I think he's still got a bright future. Might see him in the bullpen. Could be a starter in the future. What's your thoughts overall on Carson Whisenhunt?
I think he's going to be just fine. Just the year before last year, he had a 2.45 ERA and was dominant for, the limited amount of games he pitched, but still was consistent. One down year does not define someone. It happens all the time. We've seen guys bounce back. He's still young, so definitely don't count out on him. He's got a lot of stuff to learn, and I think he will. So, I definitely don't think he'll be starting this year really anytime soon. But, bringing him up through the bullpen wouldn't be a bad idea to kind of just get him adjusted to the big leagues and get him adjusted to the game. But definitely spend some time down in the minors for a little bit, kind of get that feel back that he used to have back in 2023.
Yeah, no, he's still young. I think I'm excited to watch him in spring training because there's an outside chance he could pitch on the big leagues this year. He's got the stuff if he can learn some control in a third pitch. I think he's got a slider or slurve. Hasn't been that effective. Still only 23. So another year in the minors wouldn't hurt him. Wouldn't mind seeing him up as a late September call-up in the bullpen. Going to need some lefties. That changeup, if you just see it one time through the order, could be completely devastating. Another guy, Landon Roop. I thought he looked pretty good last year. I think his numbers are a little better than he actually was. It's usually the opposite. He threw 50 innings, 3.58 ERA. Off just face value, it's really good. Kind of a two-pitch guy. Got like a fastball and a curveball. What's your thoughts on Roop? I'm not super high on him, but I'm not going to complain about those numbers if he puts them up again this year.
He just walks a lot of guys. He's going to walk one guy every 2 innings. That's kind of excessive. But he had a good end to the season. He had good flashes. He was kind of make-a-wish stats a little bit. He's kind of going in against the back half of the season, late innings. Had a couple early game go-outs, but, I don't really know much to think about him yet. We'll have to see him get out there this year and definitely in spring training. But I definitely look forward to seeing what he's got.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. He'll definitely probably make the roster as a long reliever, starter. He's kind of a mix. I don't really know where he fits there. He's going to have to definitely earn his way into the starting rotation because we have some in general, I think we have guys with higher ceilings than Landon. But if you're going to pitch 3.5 ERA ball, you're going to earn yourself a lot of opportunities. So, as Jake said, excited to kind of see what he's got. Never hurts to have pitching depth like we do. Underrated amount of pitching depth. We got Tristan Beck, we got him back I think it was September last year. He's good long reliever. His numbers look very good. 2023, 3.92 ERA, 85 innings, 68 Ks. Kind of like a pitched contact guy, but he's got some really good stuff. Last year looked really good in just 16 innings. I'm kind of like with Roop, don't really know what to think of Beck. I mean, definitely should make the Major League roster, get us some long innings. I don't really envision him as a starter in the future considering all the depth we have there, but what's your thoughts on Beck?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. We kind of do have a lot of young weapons in the making, and Beck just really isn't one of those guys that stands out to me as much as some of the others. But definitely a long reliever. You know, he could definitely go in a situation where maybe a starter's not doing too well and their pitch count's high early on and you need to eat some innings. Beck could be your guy for that. I mean, last year he had very limited sample size, but I mean, he was solid, very solid in the time he was given, so he's got to be feeling good about himself coming into this next year. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he's got out of the bullpen, but realistically, I don't think he's ready for a starter role with what we have in front of him right now.
No, yeah, definitely not. And just kind of ranking these guys, I feel like it's kind of weird because they're all so young. I think Harrison's probably in a tier of his own above all the other guys. Probably go Birdsong 2. Roop and Beck are just kind of similar to me. And Whisenhunt, like, he's probably ranked last right now, but he has as high of a ceiling as just about anybody there. So it's going to be interesting to watch all those guys. A lot of depth through this farm system and MLB roster. It's kind of nice to have some depth. Depth just eventually. At Hall of Fame Pose, he said 5 or 6 man rotation. Who gets bumped to the pen? I said it's probably going to be a 5-man. It's kind of what everybody's alluded to. Assume somebody will get hurt. Unfortunately, Verlander's pretty old. Harrison, I don't think he'll get hurt, but he kind of wears down. So I think Birdsong is going to get a lot of innings, and maybe you see some Whisenhunt. What do you think there for the 5 or 6 man rotation, Jake?
I like the 5 more. I think that's what it's going to be as well. I definitely think that something's going to happen with someone, does every year, or someone will get bumped because of performance, and Birdsong may come in, or Birdsong may get hurt, and someone else may come in. We don't really know these things, but I'm gonna stay confident that we're probably gonna go with a 5-man rotation.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then at Swoopy_11 said, what is Jung Hoo Lee's potential coming back from injury? I'll let you take this one. Jung's your guy. You were ecstatic when we got him. What do you kind of think his ceiling is, and what do you think he's going to bring to us this year?
I mean, this dude just stacked batting titles in the Korean League, and it's still professional baseball. I mean, this guy can hit the ball. We saw early on in the year he's got one of one eye. I mean, he doesn't swing and miss in balls inside the zone. He's so disciplined up there. He's a hustle player. He's got elite defense. I mean, the gloves there, I think he could definitely win a Gold Glove this year if he just stays out there the entire year, doesn't get hurt. I mean, the dude puts more hustle on the ball than anyone I've ever seen out there. I love him. I mean, I think that he's got 300 batting average potential. I don't know if he will or not. I'm not going to stay confident that it's going to happen, but I definitely can tell you that he's going to be a solid player this year, and that I think he could be an all-star.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the ceiling this year, but either way, he's going to be a very good baseball player. 2024, 158 plate appearances. I think that's 8 over what he needed to be in the Rookie of the Year this year, so that kind of sucks. But he hit 262. Little low, but his expected batting average by Baseball Savant's 278. He was hitting the ball hard, just getting out. He's got 97 grade arm strength, 80 grade speed on the Baseball Savant. So it's a very good player, can be very versatile. 2023 in the KBO hit 318, 2022 349, 2021 360. As Jake said, still professional baseball, kind of similar to translation to Double-A. If we had a prospect hitting 360 in Double-A, I'd be ecstatic. So I'd expect Jung Hoo Lee to be a very positive contributor and a big bright spot in this team this year. Goose at Goose said, how awesome would a potential All-Star game be in San Francisco, Jake?
It's been a while. Before our time, it was, 2001?
I think so,
It was like the year after it opened, they threw one there, and I think that they've got to go back. I mean, it's the best stadium in baseball. It would be iconic. I think it would fit perfectly. I mean, just why not? You know, we got a new mayor in San Francisco, and, a whole new start. Let's get an All-Star game out there. Let's get the bright spots of SF back.
No, yeah, I agree. Why not? It's an awesome city. Maybe would not hurt us to get some of those big-time free agents over there, just see how cool San Francisco is. Hopefully, that would entice him to come here. But, I mean, that would just be incredible. Those highlights I watch every once in a while, that All-Star game, it's just special. Home run derby. I mean, maybe you give some extra points for splash hits. It'd be pretty sick. You get McCovey Cove Dave out there. I mean, I'm just getting excited thinking about it. I hope they do it. I think the next 3 or 4 are already announced, so I wouldn't expect it soon. But it's definitely an interesting thought, and just really appreciate the comment, Goose. At Jack Murphy, our buddy.
My boy Murph.
It's the grandson of Dwayne Murphy, for any old school baseball guys. Stud, played with Ricky Henderson.
6 gold gloves.
Yeah, 6 gold gloves in the league. I mean, Murph's just as good of a defender out there. I'm playing baseball at Vanderbilt. Very good player. So look out for Jack there. He said, what new or young guys do you believe can have a big spring and break out? I put Matos. I'm a huge Matos believer, but I think you could go one of 20 directions. I'm just so high on Matos. He had the NL Player of the Week last year. He won league MVP in the Dominican Republic. Still kind of has some problems with chase rate, but I mean, I think he's somebody you can work with, put on some more weight. He's historically been a very good spring training player. So I'm going to go Matos, Jake. Hope you don't copy me, but where are you going?
I think Matos is a great choice. I think that's definitely possible. I've always been a Meckler believer. You know, he got rushed to the bigs, and he's still a hustle player, and we're going to try him out at second base this spring. So I'm excited to see what that has for him. So I think that he could definitely potentially be a threat to making this roster and make an impact for us because, you know, just like Jung, he's a hustle contact player. He can take some bags, get an extra base. I mean, what is there not to like about a guy like that? Oregon State guy, you know, lots of good players have came out of Oregon State. So I have high hopes on him. So I really do hope that he performs well.
No, yeah, he rakes, man. I'm excited to see him because he could make things kind of interesting if he goes off. I wouldn't say he's a favorite to make the 26-man off the rip, but, I mean, he just hits. He was above 350 in the minors a couple years, raked at Oregon State. So if he puts together like 380, 400, steals some bags in spring training, it could be in for some pretty uncomfortable conversations. I mean, you could throw him in the DH, you could throw him in the outfield. You can just find ABs for him and a role for him. So I agree with Meckler. It didn't really cross my mind, but I'm kind of getting fired up talking about him. At Timothy James said, thoughts on trading Yaz. What's your thoughts on that before I give my thoughts?
Yaz is kind of like our veteran presence. You know, he's one of our longest rostered guys currently. He's still got a good glove. I think he'd be a good mentor to have. I mean, what value are you really going to get from a guy like Yastrzemski, though? You know, he's on the back end of his career now. You know, at a position like right field that has so many stars, it's kind of hard to really get someone who's willing to give up something for him other than cash considerations and a couple of bottom 5 prospects for a team. But I kind of like him here in the Bay. You know, he's good to have on the roster with his defense. I just don't think you could get that much trading him, and I just don't really think it would be worth it, honestly.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'm not a big Yaz guy anyways. I think McRae and Matos should be playing over him, but never hurts to have a player like that with us. Gold Glove defense and right. I mean, he was pretty hot in September. If he can get off to a better start than he did last year, that was miserable, by the way, his start last year.
Struck out like 55% of the time.
If Yaz can hit 245, play some good defense, just be another placeholder for guys like Matos and McRae, to learn another year in the big leagues without rushing him, I think it's a net positive, but I do hope it's his last year in the Bay for sure. Kind of recapping what we went over, we appreciate you guys tuning in once again. Spring training's in full force. We'll be in general, we'll be dropping these every Wednesday. Every Tuesday, go over to Twitter if you got any questions. We'll be doing like a fan Q&A like we just did right there. It's a blast. We appreciate you guys tuning in. You got any parting thoughts, Jake?
Let's go have a season. Let's win 140 games this year. No, but let's beat the expectations. They put us at 79.5. Let's prove that so wrong. I know we're going over that.
Yeah, no, that's an easy bet if you're a betting man.
I already put us to win the World Series. It was like plus 8,000.
Yeah.
It's free $80, $1 to win 80.
Yeah, no, it's great odds. We got our first spring training game Saturday. I haven't really checked the schedule. We've got 2 or 3 games after that. We'll be back on Wednesday. Please tune in for that. We appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm Jack.
I'm Jake.
Thank you guys for tuning in.